15, 20-minute talk. It won't even be that. Just on the importance of not overtraining. I think, Liam, is what you meant in your message. It said overtraining, but I presume you meant not overtraining. So what you're going to find is I'm going to laugh a lot. Liam is going to laugh a lot. We'll probably talk about very little. But yeah, sure. Look, it is what it is. That's just our dry sense of humor. We know each other too long now. So Liam, the last day when I gave you your opportunity to speak to the guys, I suppose it's a bit unfair on my part because I just landed you into it without any structure or anything, and you were kind of thrown in and you just had to answer questions. But I suppose from my side of it, I know you a long time and I know exactly what you do, and I know a lot of people in the group have met you and know what you do. But I suppose there's people that don't know you and don't know exactly what you do. So the first thing I'll throw to you is who is Liam Mulcahy? Give us a bit of a background on Liam and how long you're doing what you're doing.
That.
Just keep going. Sorry, I'm actually clicking the button there. You're all right.
Where are we in the larger scale of things here now, Kit?
Keep talking. Karen just said that she couldn't hear you, so I'm just after clicking the button to hope for the best, and I'm hoping Karen will then tell me that she can hear you now. So everything you've just said there, Liam, was great. I was listening to
it. Fine it there. What you call it? Come here. You're lucky you've a background in fitness and you're a half bit good looking guy. Otherwise, you're in life. You know that.
But I'm telling you that this is. Yeah, look, I suppose I'll move it there from there because I don't know that the guys get it. Yeah, you're there now. So guys, basically Liam was just saying that his background, that he was lucky in sport and that he came from the army side of it. So the first proper question I'll throw at you, Liam, there, because I know Karen is after. Karen pulled us in that fairly quickly. So what was the attraction to get into all of this, Liam?
It wasn't really, Bart, to be honest. I suppose I would have played a lot of sport growing up, a lot through the army and stuff like that. And then you kind of get to a stage where there's younger fellas coming in underneath you, and you kind of go, "Oh shit, I think I'm done here." In a sense, now I was lucky that when I fell out of, I suppose, competitive sport with soccer and stuff, that I took up cycling. And that kind of gave me kind of an element back into it. But then you kind of miss that dressing room element and you kind of just want to be around it. And I think this is kind of where it's got me back into it. As I said, the GA plays a massive, massive part in I suppose my gig really. Like there is the clinic element, but like you're probably 5-6 nights a week nearly at a field or a match or something like that. Like so the draw to it was the fact that I wasn't in a dressing room environment anymore. And it's something that I like, you know. It's nice to be, as you know yourself too well, that it's nice to be involved in it, like, you know.
It wasn't the soup and sandwiches, so no.
No.
Or the free tracksuit, or the gear bag.
Languages, like.
Oh, we're not going to stop laughing over the whole lot.
It does throw like does throw a lot of like nice people in your way. But yeah, like it's something, it wasn't planned. Like it certainly wasn't something that I ever looked into 6 years ago, 7 years ago. You know, that kind of.
Yeah.
So no, I'm loving it.
Yeah. So outside of the GA base, Liam, I know you probably would have done over this a little bit the last day, but who is your typical day-to-day person that would cross the door of the clinic?
Uh,
And guys, just before Liam answers that, no, sorry, Liam, cut across you. This isn't me plugging Liam, or this is a sales pitch for Liam either. This is Liam actually getting a bit of background into what Liam does, because I think it's very important for people to understand why someone does what they do. Like, geez, there's great English there on me, but it's very important to understand someone's why or someone's purpose, and why they're so, I suppose, why they like what they're doing. So that's why I'm asking you all these things, Liam. It's not me trying to gather information to hack your accounts or anything.
no problem. You're fine. I think we're safe enough in the sense once. I think once then. No. As I said, the norm would be like, as I said, I have a couple of clients, a lot of clients GA based. As I said, a normal kind of run of the mill is like injuries, like, and like I think a lot of people think because you're involved with teams that it has to be sport specific, like, you know, like torn calf or whatever. But like, I'm sure you've hurt your back lifting an old bag of coal, or maybe from what I heard from Elaine, you don't lift too many. But like, yeah, you get different people, different sides of the spectrum, in a sense that, like, I think since I moved to the Woodlands, there's definitely an older clientele that come to me. That's pretty cool in a sense, because I suppose the relative element of it is that you're not looking at this fit, healthy athlete, you know, and you kind of have to adapt to what you know and what they know as well, like, and what they're able to do and what they're not able to do. So I enjoy that a lot as well. Like, it's a challenge, like, where I know a fella that's bombing up and down, or a lady that's bombing up and down the pitch, what can go wrong there? But from a guy in their 70s, and like, I was actually working at the moment, and I had kind of highlighted it because it is one of the kind of harder challenges, and I've been kind of putting it, and I've named the man in, so it's fine. He's from Adair, John Murphy, and I've been working with him a lot because I found that he had a bigger challenge than just anybody else that was coming in, like, and I found just adapting the same style of training that you do, you know, like, he's the exact same muscles as you, just not the same mobility or flexibility that. And it's just a case of, yeah, just because he's old, he's not allowed to hang out of a TRX rope, or of course he is. You know what I mean? So, like, if you think they're old, or you think they're this, then that's where you'll fail, like, and you'll fail very bad. Like, so it's kind of just treating the body for what it is, treating the client for who they are, not just kind of what you bring from a book, like, you know.
Yeah, and I suppose that moves on to my next question. Because I'm just conscious there we're 5 minutes in, and sure, all we're doing is shooting the breeze. So, but yeah, I suppose first question then would be, my group would have a lot of your busy professionals, your mums, your dads. You know, that would be a hectic lifestyle. Would you see much, or what would you see in terms of repetitive injuries or repetitive strains, knocks, that would come your way from people that are busy professionals, you know, mums and dads? Would you see a certain common type of injury, or?
Yeah, so it's like you just reflect it back to sport again, in a sense. Like, it's repetitiveness, as you said there. Like, so, like, if you're a busy parent and you're sitting at home, or rushing around, driving, pulling, dragging, there, you know, on a repetitive basis, an element for injury there. If you're sitting at a desk all day long, that's an injury waiting to happen there. And it is kind of, we've kind of forgotten about living in it a little bit. Like, we kind of tend to kind of, like, this is kind of, I'll be honest, this is probably the perfect time for us to actually sit and look at ourselves, really, and what we can do and what we're actually not doing for ourselves. Like, granted, we're locked into our houses, and we're restricted in our movements, but now is the perfect time to look after yourself. And I think that's the problem that we don't do enough of. We don't sit to look, and I'm probably, as you know, in that group of people. Like, you know, you have to work you have to come home, the kids are there and everything. So it's that repetitive style of anything that we do. So a repetitive load, whether it's even out kind of taking the kids for a walk. We go out, if we exercise, we kind of go into a set pattern. But if we're tired in that exercise, that's where we become liable for injury then, you know what I mean? So it's not a case of like, I suppose, like for mums and dads, like with kids, their lives are fucking mad, like, so it's a kind of trying to find that space. And even with the group that we're running there, and even with the groups that are, like, I've been involved in the Patrick Swell groups, and like, it's just the kind of, I have this 45 minutes just for me, and in we go, like, and that's it then, so the repetitive element would be, I think, like, be it like running and racing to the shops, driving, sitting at work, so that, like, I find that work has now become the biggest strain of anything else, like, in the watch, and like, you'd see it from yourself, even from driving and then having to come out of a car after a while to kind of, to do something that you haven't been doing for the last 8 or 9 hours, like, moving properly or anything like that. So I think that's kind of where we need to look at ourselves, just from our busy lives, like.
So if you were to give me a solution, and I'm not talking about going into in-depth detail, but a solution to that.
Ooh, solution.
One
Well,
word, because I have it in my mind. I have it straight away anyway, but I just want to see. I'm just putting you on the spot here, just to we're not going to curse on our first broadcast.
solution would be, like, as you know,
Think
I
of it now as
kind of,
your mum and dad. Your mum and dad, busy professional. What's the solution for them so that if they're going to be in that repetitive nature of rushing and racing after kids,
I suppose, a bit of teamwork.
lifting?
I don't know. I'll hold my hands up to that. That's, like, the thing with it is, I don't know if there is a solution, to be honest. Get rid of the kids.
Something that could aid it. So I suppose that's where I'm not putting you on the spot. I know that's supposed to where it comes back to me, and my solution for it would be what my guys are currently doing now in terms of training, and making sure that when we are training, that the training that they're doing is replicating.
Yes,
I
100%.
suppose,
All
yeah, deadlifting. You're lifting your kids. Anything pressing overhead,
without,
putting something into the shelf.
yeah,
Anything, core related, trunk related. Obviously, people want to, when people join a gym or join a class, they all want to lose weight, and that's what they'll tell you, that
yeah,
my goal is to lose weight and the whole lot. But again, like, that's what that stands for in terms of when things get tough is very little, because people, there's no
yeah.
substance to that.
It's actually
Um,
good that you said it, actually, and it's funny because I actually put out a post on Instagram the other day about it, like, people that are doing something now, like, we're restricted now, and we have to adapt to that. Fair enough, but we're overloading on something that we never do. So, like, from what you're saying there about training in that load, lifting that load constantly, like, that's a perfect answer, to be fair. Because I don't really believe that, like, as you were saying, you like, you can't, like, we have a lot of GA players at the moment, like, and you know yourself, you don't have that physical aspect of training, like, you're not diving on the ground now, you're not falling, you're not. I'll put it this way: when was the last time you poked the ball into the field?
yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
Right. So, like, the thing with it is, we're not bringing that everyday lifestyle, or everyday routine back into our lifestyle. Like, so that what you're saying there about training is excellent, right? In a sense, and not blowing smoke up here either, in a sense, but, like, it is important that we do have that routine, that we're available for that routine. Like,
I suppose that brings me on to what we're 10 minutes in, and we're actually only getting to the topic now, but the importance of not overtraining during lockdown. So I suppose that's where this conversation is brought us to at this point.
yeah.
But,
Well,
like, at the moment, from a fitness point of view and a fitness professional point of view, it's never been more challenging in one aspect, because you've every Tom, Dick, and Harry who has some sort of a fitness qualification, be it a weekend qualification or someone that's invested heavily in their education, coming forward and putting out, I suppose, content onto social media, and social media being as influential as it is. Yeah, look, people are going to dabble, and people are going to, I suppose, try and experience something else, because I suppose it's, look, the 5K challenge is one at the moment that's very much to the forefront of social media. People are tagging it, and people are getting involved in it. And look, it's it's for a good cause, for charity and the whole lot. But going back to your point of overtraining, there people probably haven't been running as far as they've been used to running in the last maybe 8 weeks, and then taking on a 5K challenge for
Like,
time is
yeah,
something that's just a recipe for disaster.
like January all over again. But this time people have freedom, like they have this unlimited freedom to do what they want now. Like, and the thing with it is, like, go for a walk and happy days. But like, if you have never like ran, right, or you don't regularly run, like, you're not going to fucking knock out a 5K. Do you know what I mean? Like my thing with it is, and I think a lot of it too, as you said there with social media, is ego, right? So, like, I haven't put anything up. All I've done is TikToks, right? I done anything on.
I'm quite good ones at that too, to be
Yeah,
fair to
I do believe they're very good, and like I haven't
our best people looking to.
fucking class, right? The thing with it is, right, like, I don't have to, like, I believe in my own ability, right? So I don't have to put it out to the world there that while I'm on lockdown, Liam Mulcahy doesn't have any content. He's this, he's that, he's everything. My thing is, if I'm putting out constant shite, right, people will pick up off that, and that's what I'm picking up off of on different types of trainers, different, and like, these are trainers that have these little blue ticks beside their name, right? And these are supposed to be professionals and stuff like that. Like, it's fucking horrendous watching some of the stuff, like, and it's pointless. Like, and like, I've been like, and again, not blowing smoke up your arse, right? Like, the thing with it is, you do have to make it like, if you're doing constant, repetitive, just kind of high intensity things, right? We can do that every day. We do that every day in our, like, and just because we do it now inside a house for X amount of time, like, doesn't make it any better. Like, my problem is now is that people are doing too much too quick. Like, this should be a time of, right, I know we're in a massive crisis and the importance of it, everything, but now we actually can have time to take care of stuff that we didn't do. So, like, again, as I go back to you and saying, I'm not popping out absolute crap on Instagram or, oh, this is the way to do it, this is the way. It's not, like, because I actually watching people, and I said it to another lad I was talking to the other night. I said it to him, they're like, we're using these big words. Like, I can go on and put overload, excessive strain, internal rotation, and everything, and that will have no impact on any of your listeners whatsoever, or any of your clients, because they're going, what is he talking about? I have no clue, right? And what I think it's from is actually, we're actually trying to target other trainers
Mm.
and other physios and stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, Lee Mulcahy's talking big words, he knows what he's on about. And that sounds good to them, and they go like that, and so we're building an ego for ourselves, rather than kind of like, if people, like, and clients have texted me and I've gotten back to them, I'm not going to go, if somebody wants something, as you know yourself, I'll go out of my way for them 100% to do it for them, but I'm not going to look for it. I'm going to use this time now to, like, studying and stuff. I'm still at it, like the books and things like that, but I don't need to put it up on Instagram. You know what I mean? I don't need to know that, like, or tell people, oh, you're gone very quiet. Of course, I'm gone very quiet. My clinic is closed, like, but I'm certainly not going to put or go against something that I don't believe in, like, just to impress somebody, like, you know.
Yeah, and I suppose like where we're coming from, well, I suppose the whole point of something like this, and it's something I suppose I want to make a regular thing. Um, obviously, I want to get someone else's opinion on how things are, but I want people obviously to learn from this too. And the whole point of this chat is obviously to learn, and I suppose with relevance to the importance of not overtraining. What are the signs that people should be looking for in terms of overtraining, apart from the obvious injury, being one or niggles?
Yeah, like legal and stuff like that. Like, you're looking at here, right? I'll put it this way. Like, I was talking to you, I don't know how long ago, it was out painting a fence, right? So, like, if that is physical exercise, right, and mental torture at the same time, right? So, like, the thing with it is, you come back to that and you go, like, it took you X amount of time of moving your hand up and down, right? Next minute you're going in doing push-ups and what call it, right? That's an excess overload, right?
Mm.
Unnecessary, right? The thing with it is, that enough is exercise in itself. The physical element on the body, exercise, right? So, like, the thing with it is, if we feel that, and I see it with, and I know I keep flicking back to J heads as well, but like, you think now because your finger's off the pulse that you're not training, you're not like there's nothing happening here. Like if somebody had a goal to run the Curry Chase 10K and they're doing it virtually or whatever, no, that's gone. Okay, so we need to adjust to that. Like, so the signs and symptoms that you're looking at is excess fatigue. Like, right? No, granted, we can, if we're not working, we can sleep for the day if needs to be. But like, if you're constantly sleep, if you're tired, if you find that your motivation is, and look, this type of weather, this kind of crisis and everything can take that motivation, but like the signs will be very evident because your body will tell you to stop. Okay, and that's one thing to look out for. If you find that you're, I suppose, in a different zone and the training's going really well, really well, and you're doing something that you never did before and you're enjoying it, fair enough. What I would suggest, like, we've loads of time. If you need to do something, like, take your time at it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do a high intensity session every day.
Mm.
You can take time out, you can go for a walk, change it up a little bit. I find if you find that it's repetitive and constantly repetitive, then you're just going to fall out of love with it and stop. You
Yeah,
know, it's
I
just
suppose.
kind of look. My main thing would be look after the mind first, make sure that the head is in good place, and everything else let it follow. If it's a case of walking the dog or going like you're going with the child or whatever, like, and the thing with it is people are like, I'm watching a lot of cyclists lately, like, and I'm actually angry with them because like they're going off and they're like Strava now is the new thing. Like, even though I've been on it for the last 9 years, it's like the amount of people are on it now is crazy, and like people are popping up that they're doing 20 odd k or 20 something k, like, and they're going against like social distance. And I know we're coming back here, but like you can do 2k this way, 2k the other way, 2k another way. You know what I mean? It can be restricted, but like you don't have to do 20k in one day to just.
Doesn't have to be egotistical, like a.
Yeah, and that's what it feeds back to. Like, you'll see it, and like social media does that. Like, so like as I said to you there, like for me now it's time to spend time, do stuff that you've never done. You know what I mean? And like like the first few weeks of it, like everybody was cleaning out presses, cleaning out, and that kind of dies down, and everyone was adapting to this social distancing and not going, and like people were kind of, yeah, it was great to see it. And like, and I think, and again, not blowing smoke up your hole, but like you've been working out of a gym, for the last while, which is great. I know it's in your distance and stuff like that from the house, right? But the thing with it is, right, people, when they're watching you, see the gym, okay, and they replicate a gym. But if you're looking at somebody in their house and their television, you're actually probably looking what kind of curtains they have, or so, or their, geez, that's lovely paint. Now I wonder what color that is.
That's
Um,
all the lens done. That's nothing to do with me.
this is the thing, like, but like,
I'm just a ledger.
like if you can visually see a gym and somebody working out in a gym, then you bring that into your house rather than having, like, again, like working out on the sofa. And then like the thing with it is, like, that's the change, that's the routine that can have, like, it's just that I just feel that people are like, you can go outside. No one said that you have to be wedged between your chair and your coffee table, like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And like I feel like that type of training in enclosed areas is actually feeding negative thoughts back to people, and they're going, "Oh, Barry's and he's fucking this there again," and not. And I've seen it. I've seen it done, and I've actually had a few trainers come back to me and said they've actually changed the location because it's more beneficial to what they're feeding. Like,
Yeah. And
so,
what are you, well, what common injuries, geez, tongue twister.
yeah.
What common injuries you noticing, or things you picking up on from
uh,
online sessions, I suppose, 'cause there is a lot of them there. Like, what
road,
are people at greatest risk of?
road running all day long. Like for me, like, we have a lot of people kind of coming back saying legs are killing me, legs are doing this, legs are doing that. It's, if your legs are killing you, then you're not, obviously your recovery's gone to shit, like, and stuff, or else you're over excess again. There's another sign. Um, Legs at the moment, like, it's like people are, they have a lot of stuff. You like, there's lunges and squats and everything like that. The upper body isn't getting tested as much as the lower body is under pressure. Like, we're walking, we're running, we're squatting, we're jumping, we're cycling, and it's all lower bodies, like, quads especially. main movers in a sense that they're getting hockeyed at the moment. Like,
Mm.
you
I
know,
suppose it comes back from my point of view or my side of it.
bad luck to have the hat on inside the house as well. That's like,
It's very bad luck, but I need a haircut, so it's going to stay on.
I'll do.
But I suppose what I've seen over the last years, I suppose for me personally, when I was working out of BFIT in Limerick, in City,
Yeah,
I suppose I can chart my own development as a trainer and training style over the last couple of years and see that when I was younger, it was all about, like we're talking about there now. Don't get me wrong, this isn't a batch of trainers, and don't let anyone think that this is myself and Liam having just a big rant about people. I fit into the whole, unless people are absolutely crippled,
yeah,
it's not a good session. Do you know that? And like a lot of what's out there at the moment is, you know, the high repetitions we said about burpees, squats, loads, you know, and like they are in mine. But again, they are cycling in terms of volume and all that. I'm not getting into that now. But I've seen in myself that I've gone away from that side of it and that type of training, that constant hit training. Whereas you said there are people at higher risk.
yeah.
And I
It's
suppose I used to love being the trainer in BFIT that used to make people get sick.
oh, you
Think it
kill
was great, you know, but like that's it, killing people, you know. But again, there was no benefit out of that.
like don't
Whereas now, like the focus now is like I want people to be able to, and I've been just before I go into that point I'm going to make, I have a newfound appreciation for the group because I started off week one of lockdown thinking, great, no, let's get in, let's smash this, let's go for it, and I was absolutely crippled within the week one,
yeah.
absolutely crippled, more niggles and strains than I ever had, just because I
Bit of
wasn't used to it.
do the exercises, all right.
Oh my god! I said people are having a great laugh at me, but
But
like I
like
want people to be able to move now outside the sessions, like you know, and as I said, increase the NEAT, increase their steps, increase, you know, be able to do that and be able to enjoy it, and not be just constantly in that state of soreness and depression
and
where
that,
people are freaking questioning their lives, let alone anything else.
but yeah, like that's the thing. Like as you said, there it goes back to the trainer. Like don't get me wrong. If you walk away out of a session and go, Jesus, that was fucking unreal, right? The thing with it is like you're going great, and like as again, like if I give you 120 burpees, believe me, there'll be black smoke at about 25 to 30,
Oh
right?
my god, there was.
And right, so the thing with it is like if you're driving on, what happens over that time then is too well, the quality of it actually disappears, right? And it's a case of just oh fuck it, look, just get it done, right? Second of all, the thing with it is if you come walk away from a training session, I won't say physically drained, but like Jesus, that was great. The heart is still kind of pumping when you're on the way home or whatever, or in this stage now when you're sitting on the couch or whatever. But like the thing with it is like if you it's the days after, right? And the DOMs and stuff like that. Like if you can't move for 3 days after, what the fuck was the point in doing it? Like, do you know what I mean? And like the thing with it is what we're doing now is exactly that. Like, and like you're trying something there, like and like even down to paint and defense, I bet you were sore as fuck after it, like, right? Because it's something new. It's not, and the only reason I mentioned defense is like because you kept fucking whinging about it for the lad for.
Can I cut across you there a second now? Because this is
Oh,
supposed to be a family friendly program and a PGU, whatever the tags are.
keep, keep
And you're after blowing my credibility out of the water there with every
honest, honest, honesty, honest, proper credibility, kid.
honesty. I've caught you there now. Look, you're marked with.
No, this is my.
Yeah, look.
No, in a sense that like that, like if we have to go, like I'll put it this way, if you like with yourself there having X amount of classes, like if I'm sore on Tuesday or Wednesday, grand. But if I'm still sore Thursday or Friday, like my quality of my range of motion is limited. Like, it's like anything. If you do too much of it, like you're going to be sore, and you're going to go, look, Barry, I can't do that. Look, I'm after picking up a little niggle, and that's the impact of it. And you said there when you were younger. Now, even though you're still only a young fella, right? Like, you're you're more mature, you're more skilled now than however long ago that, which was probably what 10 years ago, less.
Six, but six.
Yeah, right. So like you're looking at there and what you've picked up in your knowledge from your experience now wouldn't see you anywhere near where you were. you know. And like, it's funny actually that now that you mentioned it, sorry, I'm cutting totally off the subject. I actually
Oh, this will be interesting. Go
we
on, Liam.
saw a
They all
picture,
love a good story here.
saw a picture. I think it was the 2006, 7. Self and Liam Hurley, anyway. Lads, there was some dodgy haircuts back then, and like
There's still some dodgy haircuts, Liam.
uh, even from you as a what you call it, as a like I know you a long time, and like as a person, even like your experience to now is unreal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and like you could see that in your classes. But going back into the original thing now again, I just wanted to go back to about haircuts there. But the whole
What is the original point, Liam? What is it? We've got 2 minutes 40 seconds left in the broadcast. What is the original point that we've talked about? Because I'd say everyone is here going, what are they talking about?
But look, that's fine. Because we don't need to be too serious about anything. And
Possession.
talk to you. But the thing is, like, we don't need to be too serious about what we're trying to do, and that's exactly what I would try and get past. There's actually no rules to this lockdown. Bar, I know there's a few that are healthcare workers on the group as well. There is no rules, like, and the thing with it is, if we put our life into a stage now that we have rules and when there's absolutely none, we're going to be absolutely screwed when we go back to some bit of normality, whatever that is. Like, so what I would say is suggest enjoy, even though I know it's a weird thing to say, enjoy it, because this is a unique setting that we're in. And like, even from this, like me and you talking over the phone when like we'd probably meet for coffee or whatever, like, or you'd be in for a session or whatever, like this is different. So like, we don't have to have rules in a sense, like, and I would suggest to people that because you're seeing, I better not say Josie or Tommy or Nora down the road doing something, doesn't mean that you have to do it as well. Like, does it mean that they did something wonderful today, they climbed up a wall backwards, ate an egg or shaved their head, like that we have to follow suit? And like, that goes back to the social media thing in a sense that, yeah, it's for charity, it's great causes, but like, we tend to follow what
Yeah.
and that's where we'll crumble. Like, if it's a case that like we're all different, like, you know, like, I'm nowhere near, like, I even like pucking a ball off a wall or anything like that, like Jesus Christ, it was the most difficult thing in the world for me, you know. And I think people need to show their flaws to let the people know who they really are. Like, you know, like,
Yeah.
a horrible hurler, I think I always was, to be fair. But like, the thing with it is, it's the ability to show it. Like, if we hide it or try to mask it, then it's not really what we are. Like, you know what I mean? So like, it comes back to weight and everything. Like, and I would have been, I suppose, in the last couple of years, somebody that still struggling with weight, like, to a degree. But like, the thing with it is, like, it's not it's a matter of being not being afraid to fucking show it. Like, you know, get out there. We are who we
Yeah.
are. We're not anybody different. We're not this perfect person, like, you know. And I think,
Yeah. And I want to stop you there, Liam, because that's a different conversation. We're going to have another day. I don't want to go into too much into that.
oh,
But Liam Mulcahy, in 60 seconds or less,
what?
what is your top? It doesn't have to be 3 tips, but what are your top tips for not overtraining in lockdown? And if you find that people are overtraining in lockdown, what are 3 things they can do or 2 things they can do to help with the recovery?
Okay, right.
I'll call you in an hour.
Yeah, relax. That's the thing. Don't sweat the small stuff. That would be the real thing that I'm looking at. Like, it's fitness at the end of the day. It can come and go. Um, get out while you can, to a degree, outside. Don't try have yourself locked in. Take care of your injuries when you have them. So if you have a niggle, don't train on them. Okay, if it's a bit of soreness or stiffness from a previous class, drive on. Happy days, grand. But if you're compensating on an injury, stop. Okay, if there's something that you're not suiting, like replicating some other fella that's doing something and it's not suiting you, stop. And just like, after that, enjoy it. Enjoy it for what you take it for.
20 seconds.
And how many?
20 seconds.
And 20 seconds, right? If you have a problem, anybody on the group, feel free to contact me at any time. I will come back to you, I promise you.
Liam Mulcahy, on that note, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
It's Delightful to get our first broadcast finally done after 14 botched attempts.
14 for you, maybe. What you call it?
I have one question for you here before. Oh, Jesus, let me drop the laptop before we go, and I'm going to try and see does this work. So it's supposed to come on screen. The Facebook user is actually Nicola, and she goes, "I like the Patrick Swell top. No Kilmallock one? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark." Liam, how would you like to answer that question?
See, it's about keep.
It's a statement, really. It's not even a question. It's
Yeah. So today would be Friday, correct?
Good Friday, yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is replicate everything, normal routine, and things like that. So we'd have training on a Friday with Patrick Swell. So that's why I'm wearing my Patrick Swell top, because I would be wearing it.
Fair enough.
Just like I put out the bins last night, because rubbish comes on a Friday. So
fair enough.
There's
no, that's nice to know.
There's one. Well, actually, stay where you are. No,
we've lost the crowd. We've lost the crowd, Liam, at this stage anyway. So there's
all bit of shameless plugging. There's a what you call it.
Right.
So that's what it is. It's Friday. No loyalty. It's a job.
Be careful now. You might lose that job. Liam, thanks a million, pal. We'll hit up again next week. We'll hit you again next week for a different topic, and we'll get some more content out there. We appreciate your time, pal. Thanks, man. No, that's done, bud.